Our switchheads, welcome back. Thank you for joining me, and fasten your seatbelts and make sure those chairs are in the upright position for my review of Takeoff, the flight simulator. To date, I would definitely say I've not had much luck with flying games and simulators in the past, and hopefully this one won't be headed for a crash landing. So why not go ahead and subscribe to the channel as I put out review videos just like this one and even sales videos each and every week. Now come fly with me. Engage. First of all, and a little tiny disclaimer that if, basically you've come here expecting a flight sim with all the buttons, that big map thing that you put on a keyboard and thrust joysticks and all of that lot, then in that case, wow, you really are in the wrong place. And really, what made you think that this would actually be that sort of game from the screenshots? And at this precise moment, I can actually feel half my watchers turning off as I speak. What we have here, however, is a... Can you smell that? What is that smell? Anyway, what we have here is a rather lower tech flight sim with a little management play as well. Let me explain. After a short introduction and kind of tutorial teaching you how to fly, the basics. Okay, so firstly, this guy will come up and, well, basically give you hints as you play on, and then it's time to take off. So what basically happens here is you get your thrust that you can go forward, obviously your flaps and everything, and then you can touch at the top. Unfortunately, I'm not in handheld right now, so it makes it slightly more difficult, but in handheld, you can just touch everything and do all the stuff that you need to do. Oh, look, I've got a gold. Yay! And after you've mastered flight, it's then time to buy a plane from the hangar, where there is a few you can purchase from the money you earn from doing missions in the campaign. And you can also buy skins to, well, pimp your planes up. And so in the hangar, you get to buy your actual planes, and there are, to be fair, quite a few different planes you can buy. And then once you've actually bought them, you can pimp them up in different ways. Not really that great, but you can actually just add a skin here and there, which it's not brilliant, but it's something, isn't it? And then you can also enhance your vehicle by engine power. Yep, we'll have some more of that, please. Acceleration, braking, and durability. Durability means that you can go faster and things, I think, which is useful when you're plummeting towards the ground. From there, you have to go to the campaign missions, as the map is locked till you hit level 10, as you have to first master aviation using experience points, just like real life. Yay! It's an eventual map! Firstly, you start with light aircraft missions, and then level yourself up to, well, ultimately the jet planes after a while, but there's plenty, as you can plainly see, in between. And then there's these special missions like jet firefighters, airplanes, and sea aircraft, and extra missions all incorporated with these. But be careful here, because you have to save up money to buy these planes, and yeah, they are so expensive, you'll be, well, still grinding in a year's time. And as for them missions, well, there's plenty of them to complete, starting with more basics like landings and the like, working your way up to much more complicated things that you have to do. At the top of the screen, you can see all sorts of info you need, and it's all touchscreen, which, believe me, in handheld does really help. Each mission is rated in a gold, silver, and a bronze way. That smell again. There are some neat parts to the game, like flying your plane while it's damaged, and the landing, while basic, is still not really too bad. I will point out though that I'm not a hardcore flight sim player, so I'm thinking my opinion is probably from a novice perspective. The missions vary from taking a cameraman to take some pictures to racing to even helping the 5-0 searching for criminals, and you're even timed on this one. Woo! But sadly, at the end of the day, they're all go here, follow the pointers for a while, and go back and land your plane, with the odd curveball here and there, but it just gets boring and repetitive. Although I will say there is a speed up button you can press that goes up to ×4 to speed your way to doing these things, which I have to admit does help, but not help it feel better and less grindy. And why, oh why, do I have to follow 6 checkpoints to get to a place I could probably fly in a straight line? I mean, it's not like I'm in an airplane or something. I mean, surely these days we should be saving the fuel, not trying to waste it. Adding to all of this, once the map is unlocked, you get to kind of run your own airline international flights. And by choosing flights and destinations, and then once you take your plane off and get it to the right altitude, the game basically takes over. And then it's a matter of waiting for the plane to get to its destination. Although this wait is fully skippable, which I'm not quite sure what the point in it is then, although there's that smell again. And then once your plane arrives at its destination, you can then take over and land it. Although I will point out that the taking off and landing parts can also be skipped, but I don't think you make as much money for skipping them, I believe. And again, this is all done by checkpoints. Yay! And so that special currency I mentioned before isn't to actually do your skins, that's with money. The actual special currency is for this. Oh look. So you need that in order to fly anywhere and do all these chartery things. Yay. I have to admit, I didn't really feel like it added much to the actual game itself, and it didn't really inspire me to play this part of the game much more. But I suppose it was nice it was there. And oh yes, that smell. It does smell familiar. It smells of... Oh, I know. Google Store. Aha. As I thought. It smells of mobile phone-ness. Yes. That's where it's come from. And I suppose it also explains the look of the game. It's not the best looking flight game I've ever seen, although it does have some 3 dimensions when you get closer to the ground, although it does look kind of out of perspective, and you can actually see your plane in different angles. This kind of like explains the sound of the game as well, which is nothing really inspiring, nothing really out of the ordinary, and pretty well what you would expect from a mobile come port to the Nintendo Switch game. Nothing special, sadly. The good. There is plenty here to do. Different planes are fun, and I like the skins-ish. It starts with plenty of promise. The bad. It kind of like has that promise running all the way through the game, but does nothing with it. It's a port of a mobile game. This means there is plenty to do and earn, but you will have to grind the heck out of the game in order to get all that monies you need to get the decent stuff. 2 currencies. This is obvious in the mobile and kind of explains something, but when you convert games to the Switch, can you not take shit like this out, please? Because it just doesn't make as much sense. And overall kind of makes it feel a little bit lazy. I would also say that it's overpriced for what you're actually going to get here. I would put it more at a $2.99, maybe $4.99 max. And I'm sure I saw it on offer before release for $2.99. As in pounds and p, so if you really want it, maybe wait for it to come down in sale again, which I'm pretty sure it will do. It really doesn't look the best, and this is probably because it's a phone port. The draw distance is actually terrible as well. Repeating missions with the other plane classes, which is not good. As well as giving you a sense of deja vu, it also starts to annoy you. And so, I was looking forward to this one a lot. If you're after a real flight sim, look elsewhere. If you're after a bit of grind, turn your brain off and just play mobile game without the IAPs, then this is for you. I'm just not really convinced on the price. I really don't mind mobile games being ported to the Nintendo Switch. I don't, honestly, because there's some decent ones out there. But please, let's not be lazy in doing so. And with that, I'm afraid I can only give it a 2 out of 5. And maybe a suggestion to go and check out the free, but with IAPs, mobile app before you buy. If you like it, then maybe dive in because you won't have those IAPs. And while I chase that alternative up, why don't you go ahead and subscribe for further content, sales reviews every week? And why not like the video to show you enjoyed your time here as well? Got ya! Flight Sim 2019 with your spectacular day-night system and global open world map and realistic flight controls. And if anyone owns this, let us all know if it's worth getting alongside your choice of alternative if you have a better one. And with that, let us know your thoughts on Takeoff, the flight simulator, and maybe if you intend on picking it up or leaving it well alone. Come join me in our community Discord if you like to continue the conversation, because life is better when we switch together.